Alright boys, what's happening? Welcome back to another episode of the F1 2021 My Team series here on the channel. Next up is the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Looking forward to getting into this one. My first time racing this circuit on wheel and pedals. If you have not seen the last episode, or the one before that actually, in Monza, I did explain we do have now a wheel and pedal setup. As you can probably tell by the menus at the top of the screen, you can see the little paddles to change the menus and the pedals to change the sub menu. But yeah, we are on wheel and pedals now. So that is what we absolutely love to see. Getting into this race in America, which is a very hard circuit to drive on controller with that S's section at the start, so hopefully we can be a lot faster through there. We'll have to wait and see if we actually will be. Looking at the vehicle comparison chart, Red Bull and Honda and nearly Mercedes are pretty much tied with us in the vehicle comparison chart. We are still just ahead ever so slightly. Last time out in Russia, we had a really good qualifying session, pole position. We had a great race, fastest lap of the race. Only finished P4 though. 6-second penalty on the final lap of the race. Killed us off. Low fuel killed us off. Make sure you check out that race if you haven't already. It was absolutely crazy. Hopefully we don't see a repeat of that stinker here in Austin, Texas. But let's get into this race in America and see what we can do. See if we are any quicker through that S's section in Sector 1. And just to warn you boys, it is still very, very tricky, even on a wheel and pedal setup. You really need to have your tyres in the right window, especially for a qualifying lap. You need your tyres in the right window to hit those S's with enough grip. To be able to fly through them at good speed. But getting into it now, it's probably a longer episode, as you can see by the length of the video, but a lot happens in this race, so make sure you stay tuned till the end of the video. Hit like on it if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel if you are not. Coming through turn 1 now, on our first push lap of the qualifying session, we have a snap of oversteer through turn 1, not good. Now getting into the S's for the first time, we fly over the curb there and damage the under tray of the car, and then we understeer completely wide, so that was not a good attempt. Now we have underbody damage. We have to wait 3 minutes for that to repair. We're going to skip into the session, but the track temperature actually increases 10 minutes into the session, which is a good sign. Hopefully we can go faster. Obviously currently in P22 back of the grid because we haven't set a lap yet, but can we get a better push lap now? Can we avoid those orange curbs on the S's? We get a nice apex through turn 1, stamp on the throttle as we open the wheel, bring it to the left so we can swing it round to the right, stay right, so then we can try and straight line the first 2 S's. We get 1, we get 2, over the third one. We thought we went over the curb there, but we didn't. Understeering a bit wide, too much speed, carrying a lot of speed through there, but missing the apex as a result of that. But through the S's with no damage. You love to see it. We finally done it one time. It's not perfect, definitely not perfect, but it is what it is. Braking at 75 metres for this hairpin left, a bit too wide on the apex, lost a bit of time through there as well. Now down this massive straight, we're going to hit the DRS zone and try and take the shortest run down to the bottom of this straight, very long straight here. Very easy overtaking opportunity in the race, which I'm sure we'll see a lot of. Braking just before 100 metre board here, downhill braking zone. You have to brake a little bit earlier than you could think. Down to third gear, and then getting on the throttle. You've got a lot of grip around this section of the track there to just stomp the throttle and build up on the speed before we get into this cambered left-hander. Reminds me of turn 9 in Bahrain. Is it turn 9 or turn 10? Completely flat out round here. Tyres in the right window for the grip to be able to do that when you get the good turning points. Completely flat out. Throw it down to 5th gear. A bit wide track limits, as you can see there. Around the final corner now, hitting the DRS zone and crossing the line for our first lap of the session. It puts us in P11, so we are safe. We are through to Q2 as it stands, but P11 is not where we'd like to be. You know, P11 is not a very good spot. We take turn 1 a lot nicer there, and we're already 2 tenths up as we head towards the S's. Can we nail the S's? And that's really where this lap comes down to. Can we nail the S's? There's the first 2. That is absolutely perfect, boys. That is absolutely perfect. So satisfying to hit those S's like that, especially. And now that I'm on wheel and pedals, a lot easier to do, but we completely missed the apex of that corner there and completely cut that corner, but don't get a warning for it. So the 2-3 tenths that we made up there, we've lost them already, but we're still up in the delta. We take a better apex. It was still trash actually through the hairpin left there down the straight, and we are now 2.5 tenths down on the lap. I just wanted to show that lap because we absolutely nailed the S's at the start, but then we completely bottled it. So we need to repeat that, but keep the the delta positive through in this Q2 session. We're in Q2 now. The last few races you've seen me in Q2 on the medium tyres, we're on the soft tyres here in America because I don't have the pace to qualify on the medium tyres. As you've seen from that Q1 session, like, it's a bit of a fluke if I set a good lap around here, because I need to nail those S's, and it's a bit of like a fluky one, like I say. But yeah, so we're on the soft tyres. Did not want to try and qualify on the mediums because we wouldn't have got through, and we'll just save those fresh mediums for the race, which could be crucial. Once we get to the race, you'll find that out later on in the race. Understeering again, carrying too much speed through there, but we get a nicer apex for that corner there, and then now we can stomp the throttle as we head downhill towards the DRS zone, towards the big straight. If we can get a good exit onto the straight here, nicer apex on the hairpin, and we're going to have a massive slipstream now from Valtteri Bottas, who is on an outlap. You can see his red light flashing to charge the battery. Huge slipstream from Valtteri. Can we get past him before the braking point? He pulls to the side and we fly past Valtteri. That could be absolutely huge, boys. Braking just before the 100-meter board again into the downhill left. Absolutely huge slipstream there from Valtteri. We'll see once we cross the line a bit later if that has helped us in any way set a good lap here in Q2 and possibly drag us through to Q3. So obviously with our Q1 time we wouldn't have made it through to Q2. Coming around this now completely flat out, we've got it nailed again. A lot of the times in the race I couldn't take that flat out because of tyre wear, because of just certain other things, the fuel load, you know. But coming through the final corner now, sacrificing the exit to get a good entry and crossing the line. It's going to be fastest lap of the session so far. 10 minutes left in it still, but it is a sub 130. We've set a 129.9. Very good lap. Obviously fastest lap of the session so far. Verstappen in P2 on the medium tyres. He's obviously trying to go for an alternate strategy, and we sim to the end of the session, and we do get through to Q3. P7 it was in the end, but that sub 130 helped us out massively. You know, we would have got knocked out of this session if we would have set the same time that we did in Q1. But here in Q3, going through the S's again, a little bit of a bump underneath there. I think we might have took some damage, but it is what it is. And you can see, boys, in front of us, the sky does not look very blue. It looks very grey. Possibly some rain on the way, so we're trying to set a good lap here. All 10 cars out on the track straight away, trying to set a good lap before any sort of rain comes. There's Leclerc setting a 130.9. If we can set a sub 130 again, there's Perez at 130.3. If we can set a 129.9 again, possibly pole position. Well, it would be pole position as it stands, but let's find out what we do actually set in this lap. Braking a lot earlier than probably could have there. Could made up a lot more time. There's Daniel Ricciardo taking provisional pole with a 130.2. Like I say, that sub 130 is what we're aiming for, or 30 flat would be nice indeed. Max Verstappen with a 129.5. The guy is absolutely ridiculous on this game. Obviously won the championship in season 2 for us, and he's possibly going to win the championship this season unless Michael Schumacher has something to say about it. But we've got one corner left, in the lap here, running very wide there, hitting the DRS zone. Across the line it's going to be a 130.1. so as it stands, that is as close as we can get to Max Verstappen, and we're going to be in P2, Hamilton in P3 just behind us. I think we might go again for another push lap here to try and improve on that 130.1, but I don't know if we'll be able to do it. Here's another lap which is just terrible. We've completely cut the S's and understeered out wide there, and as it stands, obviously Michael Schumacher's overtaken us now into P2, Lando Norris in P3, and that lap is going to be over for us. That isn't obviously not what we like to see. We absolutely bottled the S's, and we might not have enough time to go again actually, and we definitely don't, because I think I have just seen a drop of rain, boys. I don't know if you've seen that, but it looked like there was a drop of rain coming out onto the track heading down the straight here. There is a drop of rain on the camera. You can see it right in the middle of the camera there, right in the middle of the screen. It started to rain. It's not good enough, you know. We're not going to be able to go again here and try and improve on our lap or anything like that, because the rain has come in. Even though at the start of the session I said to Jeff, obviously in the Q3 session is 10 minutes, and I said to Jeff, when's the rain coming, and he says 20 minutes, and as you can see there, boys, it's very slippy, and we've gone around the flat out right hand there and completely spun, lost the back end there, put it in the wall, lost half of our front wing, staying out the way because look how fast these cars are coming, all going for another push lap. I try and get out of Michael's way and we put it back into the wall and break the front wing again. Absolutely foolish behaviour for me, but obviously everyone is trying to set another lap again, and now we nearly get in the way of one of the Mercedes there because we couldn't get the car off the track. It's wet, the tyres are overheated, like I literally could not do anything to get this car out the way, but I managed to do. in the end. You can see our tyres there, 115 degrees on the back tyres. Oh, there goes Carlos Sainz through the final corner. We might have bottled Carlos's lap there, which might have helped us in the end, but let's find out. We're going to cross the line at the end of this Q3 session. Let's see where we are on the grid. It's going to be P5 on the grid. A lot better than I did expect coming into this race. Didn't feel like I had much pace. I tried a few practice laps, obviously, in practice, and it didn't really feel that good, but I'll take P5 on the grid. Michael Schumacher up in P2, 300ths behind Max Verstappen. Let's get to the race, boys, see what we can do.
Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin, in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself 14 miles southeast of the city centre and home to the US Grand Prix since 2012. The latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. It's the Circuit of the Americas then, situated 14 miles outside the great city of Austin. This is the 3.6 mile lap with 20 corners, 10 each to the left and to the right, and top speeds of around 200 miles per hour. Overtaking opportunities are available into turns 1 and 12, especially with that rear wing DRS wide open. Anthony Davidson, thanks for joining me once again for the Grand Prix. Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen? Looks like they've got a tough race in store today, as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have the owner driver, Hamilton, Daniel Ricciardo and Bottas, Sainz, Leclerc, Verstappen and Pierre Gasly, Michael Schumacher, Ocon, George Russell and Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Stroll, Sebastian Vettel and Antonio Giovinazzi. Fernando Alonso, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Latifi, Tictum and Nikita Mazepin. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Like I mentioned in the last race, boys, we're at that part of the season where people are taking grid penalties, and the pole sitter Max Verstappen, the other front row sitter Michael Schumacher, both taking grid penalties. So we're actually going to start P3 in this race. You absolutely love to see it. Can we get off to a good start here in Austin, Texas? It is lights out and away we go. It looks like Sergio Perez off to a better start than Lando Norris. Up at the front there, Perez coming across to cover Lando Norris. He leaves the inside completely wide open for us, and we're going to full send up the inside and through turn 1 we are up into P1. Boys, what a move that was from us. Sergio tried to cut off Lando Norris, who was on pole position after the grid penalties for Max and Michael, and we flew up the inside. Might have been a bit of contact with Sergio, but if you don't go for a gap that exists, you are no longer a racing driver. Rest in peace, Ayrton Senna. We are up into P1 in lap 1 here, through turn 1. A lot of ones going on. Hopefully we can finish the race in P1. Let's find out. We're trying to pull a gap now to Sergio Perez. We've got a bit of a gap. Lando Norris definitely closer to Perez than Perez is close to us. Down the straight here though, he's going to have a massive slipstream in behind us here. Can we use a lot of battery probably down the straight to try and pull away from Perez? Let's get a replay of that start on board. We get off to a great start, lights out. You can see how slow Lando was off the line, and Perez gets a great start, comes across to cover Lando Norris, and I just see that gap up the inside. Perfect from me. That was actually perfect driving. We got so close to Lando to widen our entry to the corner, and then just flew up that gap up the inside. Absolutely love to see it. I love pulling off moves like that. Like, your adrenaline just gets so like pumped, and you just feel so good when you pull off a move like that when you're driving. I swear to God, and especially being on wheel and pedals now, it actually feels a lot more immersive of an experience when I play this game, and I can't wait to go and record some more races actually after this video. We do only have 3 races left in the season, I think, after this one. But hopefully we can have a good result here in, obviously, where are we? America. There goes Sergio Perez off the track. He's probably causing some dirty air there, but he went flying off the track, which is what we like to see. Maybe his tyres are battered, I don't know. Obviously, you start the race on whatever tyres you set your fastest lap in Q2. So I don't know how many laps Perez actually did on those tyres. But speaking of tyres, boys, we've obviously chosen the 2-stop strategy here. I don't know if you've noticed. At the start of the race, we chose the 2-stop strategy. But at the end of lap 1 we do lead the race in P1, but it is lap 2 and there goes Sergio Perez up the inside. Is he going to be able to make a move through turn 1? Perez is ahead. Can we get the switch back? There might have been a bit of contact there. That looked very close for comfort. We didn't really get to see much, but wheel to wheel heading towards the S's, not a place that you want to be going wheel to wheel through. And we are up into P1. We've managed to bully our way, get our elbows out and bullied Sergio out of the way as we understeer wide there, because I carried way too much speed through that corner every single time I go through it, and I haven't learned my lesson still. But we are back up into P1, only 27 more laps like this, and we will win the race. But yeah, it's unlikely. You know, we've got 27 laps. A lot can happen in that time. There goes Sergio Perez up the inside. Speaking of a lot can happen, down the straight now, Perez. He's got a great turn through the hairpin left there down onto the straight, but we're going to have a lot of battery to use to attack Perez here and be in a slipstream. Lays on the brakes as we go into this downhill braking zone. Can we stay ahead of Perez? Perez is ahead, but we're going to send it up the inside here and try and push Perez as far wide as possible, make our car as wide as possible, get the elbows out. And this is where I really feel like I do excel. If you watch me old series on I was going to say FIFA, on F1 2020, my racecraft was absolutely terrible, but now I feel like confident, if you will, like racing wheel to wheel with other cars, and not crashing, not causing contact, just having good, fair racing, Max Verstappen style. That's going to trigger some people, but end of lap 2 we are still in P1. How long can this last for? Who knows? There goes Perez again, pulling out of the slipstream, looking like he wants to make a move up the inside into turn 1 again. Is he going to be able to do him? Wheel to wheel into the braking zone for turn 1, and I go for that move again on the switchback, but Lando goes up the inside, so it was a bit of a tight call there. We are back up into P1, but it was very close through turn 1 there on lap 3, because Lando tried to send one from way downtown. He might have picked up a bit of damage there. Again, if you didn't see the Russian Grand Prix last time out, Lando picked up a bit of damage, but Lando's actually overtaken Perez now, so I guess he didn't pick up any damage. But I don't know if you've just seen, as I flashed the MFD there, boys, the front tyres are on 24% wear, and it's on lap 3 of the race. I was just about to mention this before when talking about strategy. The 2-stop is definitely the best strategy for me personally around USA. I feel like these soft tyres just fall off so fast. In obviously, I was going to say, I keep saying in Austin, Texas, and I've said it like a million times this video already, so I don't want to say it again. But yeah, coming through the flat out right here, well, there goes Lando Norris flying off the circuit, and this was a weird moment. Lando, he just snaps his wheel and goes off the track and loses 2 places. I don't know what happened to Lando there. Like, obviously he went flying off the track there, maybe dirty air, and then there he goes, he just flies off the track, nearly makes contact with Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. But yeah, coming through this right-hander, you see I tried to take it flat out there and we just fly wide off the track, and there goes Perez to take the lead, and again we're understeering wide. The front tyres have absolutely zero grip. We're 3 laps into the race, we clatter the back of Lewis Hamilton's car there, lucky to take no damage to the front wing, but we get DRS on Hamilton. Perez now up in front, and as you can see, up into turn 1. Can we make a move on Lewis Hamilton, try and get back? We go for that switchback again, but Lewis just covers the apex completely, so that was a poor move for me to try and go for there. But yeah, man, like I'm saying, the 2-stop is definitely the best strategy, because these soft tyres fall off so fast. But like, boys, like, look at the, even coming through the S's now, the front tyres had absolutely zero grip. I was understeering through every single corner. We are only 4 laps into the race, and the tyres are on like 30% wear, the front tyres. Down the straight now, we didn't manage to get DRS on Lewis Hamilton in front, which is absolutely huge, because we have a massive train of cars behind who will have DRS. There goes Lando Norris round the outside, Valtteri Bottas behind, also going to have DRS. But can we send one back on Lando into the braking point? There's a bit of contact there, there's a yellow flag, and it's Valtteri Bottas, the man who was spun around there. Bottas tried to overtake us on the grass. That is not the track, mate. And then Bottas has gone off the circuit and brought out the yellow flag. Now Jeff wants us to go even longer on those soft tyres. Absolutely foolish behaviour from Jeff to suggest a strategy like that. But yeah, there's the contact with Bottas. And like me talking about my racecraft before, that was poor from me. I can hold my hands up and say that was my fault. But yeah, definitely cannot take this section flat out here. But the AI can, of course, because the AI don't have tyre wear. And up the inside there goes Daniel Ricciardo. Good driving from us to not cause a collision there. And turning on Daniel, we gave him the space that he needed, but we're down to P4. Now I did expect this. Obviously we had a great start, being P3 on the grid, and obviously getting into P1 for the first 2 laps of the race. But I knew our race pace wasn't really there. It's like George Russell in the Williams in real life. When he sets a good lap, and obviously you think, like, especially in Belgium, if you remember, he got that P2 and it was like, yeah, it was a great lap, but in the race, would he finish P2? No, because he doesn't have the race pace, and that's what it felt like for me. We had a good qualifying, albeit with engine penalties to bring us up into P3, but I didn't feel like I had the race pace to stay there, so I wasn't really that annoyed that we lost places. Obviously I do want to finish as high as possible. We're trying to chase down a Constructors' Championship here, and possibly even the drivers. Well, the drivers out of reach for us now, but it's down to Michael. But again, look at this, just understeering wide, the front tyre is just not turning. I had a full lock of wheel, and the car's just not turning, bro. Need to get off these tyres. Probably should have boxed that lap at the end of lap 5. Probably should have went them. There goes Perez setting another fast lap of the race. But we do have DRS on Daniel down up into turn 1. I don't actually know how we stayed within DRS range of Daniel there. And in the top left you can see Max Verstappen creeping up to the competition. He's in P7 at the moment after the grid penalty at the start, which put him down to P9, I think. And now he's got Pascal Ossand, he's in P6. So he's now the car behind us within DRS range. And up the inside, he has a little luck, he's not going to be able to do it though. And again, we go another lap where we should have boxed and we didn't. But yeah, we crossed the line to start lap 7. Now we are going to box at the end of this lap. We're breaking the tone on Max Verstappen, who goes round the outside into turn 1. We're going to send it back up the inside. Is he going to leave us space at the apex? He actually does. Fair racing from Max Verstappen there, but it's going to be wheel to wheel towards the S's, but Max is ahead as we get through the S's section, and then that is all she wrote for that lap. We come into the pit at the end. Let's see where we are going to come out. Probably should have came into the pit a lap or 2 earlier than that as well, because the soft tyres around America are just terrible race tyres. Even like we're going on to softs now. Go. Another set of used soft tyres that we of course used in qualifying. And you can see the front tyres starting on 9% wear. So how long are we going to be able to go on these tyres before we need to come in and change them? Luckily though, the medium tyres that we are going to switch on to later on in the race after our next pit stop, those mediums are completely brand new, fresh. We didn't use them in quali or in, well, we just didn't use the tyres. They're brand new, you know what I mean? We come out to the pits in P17 though, chasing down Antonio Giovinazzi, who is the car in front at the moment. Hopefully we can just clear these little stinkers very easily and not have to use up too much tyre to try and make some moves to overtake these stinkers, you know. But obviously we've just took that corner flat out, and you can see just the difference that the tyres made, even though these are scrubbed already. There goes Giovinazzi into the pits, cutting completely across us. Luckily I was alert there and didn't just fly into the back of him. We do get DRS from him though. We're going to overtake a few people in the pits. We do just set a fastest purple sector in sector 3 there of anyone on the race so far. Sebastian Vettel, the next man up, and it's heading towards the S. It's very hard to follow an F1 car through an S section of any sort of circuit. With the dirty air that comes off the back of them, you just lose all traction and all grip. So we obviously get through the S's there, not able to overtake Sebastian, but down this straight now we do have DRS on him, and it looks like we're alongside Sebastian. It looks like we're past Sebastian before we even open that DRS flap in the rear wing. And there goes Sebastian into the distance in our rear view mirror there as we fly down with DRS open and battery to just create a bit of a gap. Next up is Mick Schumacher, our teammate's son. It's actually still crazy, I haven't mentioned that enough, that Michael Schumacher, obviously our teammate, and Mick Schumacher are currently racing together in F1 in our series. I haven't brought that up enough, but there goes Mick Schumacher. We're right on his gearbox. Can we go around the outside here? No, we can't. There's almost a bit of contact there. Up the inside though, are we going to be able to make a move? Mick Schumacher, he comes across and nearly flies into our side pod there. That was crazy driving from Mick, but we come through the final corner now, overtaking Giovinazzi, Vettel and Schumacher within the space of a lap. Not really something to brag about. Oh yeah, well done lad, you've overtaken a tractor, a combine harvester and a mobility scooter. But yeah, up into P8 after a few people have pit. Just noticed Carlos Sainz on hard tyres. Carlos with the one-stop strategy. There is a yellow flag behind us. It's going to be Mick Schumacher. Speak of the devil, Mick Schumacher, his engine has blew up in the face of the two Ferraris behind him, and Mick Schumacher's out of the session. That was unfortunate for the young Schumacher there, but obviously that allows Charles Leclerc to catch up to us a little bit, because he's overtaken Schumacher now, who would have been holding him up. Coming towards the end of the straight now, Michael Schumacher comes up into P9 and he has a 5-second penalty, boys. Michael Schumacher has a 5-second penalty. Do not know what for. Leclerc trying to make a move up the inside, but we defend against Leclerc. Let's find out what Michael has this 5-second penalty for. We check the race incidents here in the directory, and he's got a 5-second penalty on lap 10 for ignoring the yellow flag. So it was actually Mick Schumacher, his retirement brought out the yellow flags, and obviously I don't know what happened. Michael must have overtook somebody or something through the yellow flag. But Mick Schumacher has caused his dad a 5-second penalty, which is not what we like to see for our team, boys. And Max Verstappen is now 9 seconds ahead of us in P5 there. This race, or the front runners in this race, seems to be getting away from us here. We do not have the pace, especially on these soft tyres. Speaking of soft tyres, there goes Charles Leclerc up the inside into turn 1. Can we go around the outside through turn 1? No, we can't. We have to leave space up the inside as well, because some absolute fool, I don't actually know who that was behind us. It was actually Michael Schumacher sending one up the inside. I couldn't work out who that was for a second. I thought it was Sainz, but Sainz, of course, on the hard tyres. Let's see how that works out, because of course all of us soft runners, we have to box again, but Sainz is the only man I think in the race running that one-stop strategy, soft into hard. Let's see how long those hard tyres last, and if they were a decent race tyre. Maybe next time out I should try a one-stop strategy medium hard. That could work out, because I don't like these soft tyres in USA at all. That could just be a terrible strategy though. Someone let me know in the comments if you've ever tried medium hard around America. Is that a decent strategy? I might have to try that next time out. But as you can see, catching up on Charles Leclerc at the end of the straight now. Michael Schumacher, our teammate behind, also within DRS range. So coming into the pits now on lap 15 of 28. To get rid of these soft tyres and get our brand new mediums on. You can see it's got a lot more dull. The sun has gone away, track temperature probably dropping, so that's even less grip for these soft tyres here with the track being colder. So let's get onto these medium tyres, boxing a lap early than we said to do. So yeah, there we go, brand new fresh mediums. Let's see where we come out of the pits. We've pit before a lot of people. I think the whole front 5 have not pit yet. It looks like there's a 3-way battle for the lead between Hamilton, Perez and Norris at the moment. We come out to the pits though in P13, 10 seconds ahead of George Russell behind on hard tyres. We're chasing down Yuki Tsunoda on soft tyres, but you can just see even our straight line speed without DRS, we are so much faster than this absolute, I was trying to think of something funny to call the AlphaTauri, but I like AlphaTauri, so I'm not going to disrespect their team. We've caught up to Yuki Tsunoda at the end of the straight there. Can we make a move up the inside now? That is a very nice move if we can make this stick around the outside for this next corner. Tsunoda gets in front, good defensive driving from Yuki Tsunoda. We're going to have a better exit though, out onto the flat out right, and we've got brand new fresh tyres. Can we take this flat out round the outside of Yuki Tsunoda? This is great wheel-to-wheel racing. Probably could have gone on the throttle earlier. Up the inside though, pushing Yuki out the way, elbows out, the people's elbow in a bit. Yuki Tsunoda, lad. Great racing from me and Yuki there though. You love to see racing like that with no contact, wheel to wheel through a flat out, high G-force section of the track. Absolutely fantastic. But coming towards the end of the lap, Charles Leclerc just came out of the pits. We didn't manage to get the undercut on Leclerc. Obviously we was within DRS range, we still are, so the undercut hasn't really worked out in any sort of sense. But coming through the S's now, absolutely throwing the car through it, and it just sticks because we have fresh tyres on, and we go purple through sector 1 actually. So as you can see, maybe that is the strategy. You just absolutely throw the car through sector 1 and just pray that you don't die, and you set a purple sector. So onto the back straight now on lap 18 here. You can see there's a car in front of Charles Leclerc. That's actually Esteban Ocon. I thought it was a back marker, but it's Esteban Ocon in P7. We're right up now next to Ocon and Leclerc. There's a big lock up from Esteban Ocon into the apex there. Bit of contact between Ocon and Leclerc. Ocon managing to hold up Charles Leclerc. Can we have a little look up the inside? There's contact. Leclerc knocks us off the track. A very ambitious move from me to try and send one up the inside there. So that was poor for me. I'm not fuming at Leclerc for that contact. Nothing he could have done there really. But thanks to Esteban Ocon, he's holding up Charles Leclerc. He's actually holding us up as well, being stuck behind Leclerc. But getting to the end of the lap now, we can easily clear Esteban Ocon as he dives into the pits, but he allows us to stick with Charles Leclerc, get DRS, and we're literally touching his car. And as soon as the DRS flap opens, we pull out of that slipstream, turn on the battery, and absolutely fly past that Ferrari. Even though we have the same power unit in the car, our car just far superior in terms of straight line speed because of our aero upgrades, and weight reduction, whatever you want to put it down to. But we're getting past Charles Leclerc there. We're up into P7, and we are currently chasing down his teammate, who we've mentioned already, Carlos Sainz, the only man on the one-stop strategy here. He's 9 seconds ahead, and we have 9 laps left of the race. Can we make up a second a lap on Carlos Sainz? He's going to be on those hard tyres, like I say, for a very long time in this race here, because the soft tyres fall off so early. So he would have been on those hards for a long time. So those hard tyres, even though they are designed to go the distance, go long in a race, they are still going to be falling off. They're going to be very slow. At the end of lap 19 here, we crossed the line to start lap 20. We've closed the gap from 9 seconds to 7.5 seconds. We finished lap 20 to start lap 21 from 7.5 seconds down to 6 seconds. And Charles Leclerc is still within DRS range, but we're trying to pull a bit of a gap to Leclerc and keep him out of that range. He's not really threatening us at the moment. He just keeps getting close and then not actually making a pass on us. Starting lap 22 though, the gap to Sainz 4 seconds. We are really closing this gap, just putting the laps in on faster tyres compared to Carlos. At the end of another lap now, we're just going through the laps, boys. Lap 23, 5 laps left in the race, 3 seconds the gap to Carlos Sainz, and we can see him just in front going through turn 1. At the end of lap 23, we have caught up to him. He's in sight, he's in camera range. We start lap 24, he's going to be 1.4 seconds ahead. We need one more lap to get within DRS range and then possibly overtake him on that lap. So striking distance, if you've ever seen on the F1 on the TV, when the AWS graphic comes up that says striking distance, our striking distance for Carlos was 1 lap or 2 laps, and we finished that 1 lap within DRS range now. Can we make the move on this? Crucially, Nikita Mazepin in front, Daniel Ricciardo out of the session as well. That is crucial. Coming through the S's, Daniel's engine blows up in his McLaren, so that's a car that's in front of us that is now not in front of us. So that's gained us a place already. Can we gain another place by overtaking Carlos Sainz? Like I say, crucially, Nikita Mazepin in front, getting blue flagged, but he's going to hold up Carlos Sainz. You can't overtake through the S's, it's too dangerous. And there goes Mazepin to hold up Sainz, and we managed to close the gap, which we would have closed anyway. He was within DRS range, but he just makes it a lot easier for us. The Russian Mazepin pulls out the way, and now we are right behind not Charles Leclerc. Leclerc's behind us. Now we are right behind Carlos Sainz, down into the hairpin, down the straight. Lap 25, 3 laps left in the race here, boys, in Austin, Texas. Can we get up into P5? We're going to have DRS, massive slipstream as well. Like I say, it's a huge straight here in America. We pull to the inside, wheel to wheel with Carlos Sainz, down into the braking zone. We're going to be ahead before we get into the braking zone. Nice move indeed to get past Carlos Sainz, who's now going to hold up his teammate unless Ferrari play some team orders, because obviously he's going so slow on those hard tyres, because those tyres must have just fell off and died. Like I mentioned earlier, when we saw him pit for those hard tyres, I said it'd be interesting to see how he does on those tyres, and the answer, not great. So if you're watching this, I would not recommend a one-stop strategy around USA. The man in front now in P4, Max Verstappen, 22 seconds ahead of us. We have 3 laps left. Can we make up 22 seconds on Max Verstappen? Completely unreasonable task. But can we keep the Ferraris behind us and cross the line in P5? P5 would be a solid result, in my opinion, for this race, especially when Max Verstappen has came up from P9 to P4. The guy is absolutely crazy. Michael Schumacher, I have no idea where our teammate Michael is. Remember, he did have that 5-second penalty though, which could be absolutely vital and crucial at the end of the race. We'll have to wait and see how much that actually did impact his race. If it did impact his race at all. I'm looking on the minimap and I actually can't even see him. I can't see his little purple dot anyway. Speaking of purple dots, I don't know why that made me think of Dan Ticktum, probably just because he's a fool. And we're coming up to Dan Ticktum now, the most dangerous driver on the grid. If you don't know about Dan Ticktum, you need to be here from season 1 to know about Dan Ticktum, or just go back and watch Monza, and I explain it a little, because this guy was a buffoon in Monza as well, but we managed to pass him, and he doesn't crash into us. Dan Ticktum did not crash into us on a straight. You'd love to see it. He's actually learning, gaining some racecraft, but the guy's still a fool. Boys, should we bring Dan Ticktum back as a teammate for season 4? Let me know in the comments. Should we bring Dan Ticktum back, try and let him redeem himself? Lap 28 though, like I say, team orders at Ferrari. Charles Leclerc got ahead of Carlos Sainz. Valtteri Bottas also got ahead of Carlos Sainz, so those hard tyres must be absolutely dead. On lap 28 here, Sergio Perez has crossed the line. I think that's 3 back-to-back wins for Perez. No, it's not, because we won in Monza, but that's 2 back-to-back wins for Sergio Perez. He won in Russia, he wins in USA. Max Verstappen actually got up into P3 at the end of the race. Verstappen got a podium somehow in that race there. Absolutely ridiculous drive from Max Verstappen, but we finished the race in P5. Now, it's a very long episode, so if you've watched this far, appreciate it. But like I say, it's a very long episode, but we started P5 and finished P5, but there was a lot of stuff that happened in the race, a lot of overtakes and strategy calls and stuff like that. So it's just funny to see like such an entertaining, exciting race, and then to finish where you started. It's like it feels pointless in a sense, but not pointless, because you've still got to bring it home, and secure the points. I actually didn't see who got P2 there. Possibly Lando Norris. We'll have to wait and see till they get on the podium. It'll be a good redemption arc for Lando if it is him. After what happened, it is Lando indeed. Good redemption arc for Lando after what happened in Russia. Obviously crashing into us in turn 1 in Russia and ruining his race because he needed a new front wing. Sergio Perez though, back-to-back wins, like I say. Max on P3, huge points for Red Bull, big points for Max as well compared to Michael, crucial for the Drivers' Championship, which we'll check out the standings for in a moment once we skip the podium celebrations, and let's check them out. You can see Michael finished in P9, up from P11 to P9 with a 5-second penalty. It's harsh. He could have possibly finished above us. You know, he had the pace at one point where he was racing against us. So yeah, it's just a shame to see that 5-second penalty that his own son, the ultimate betrayal, Mick Schumacher, caused Michael a 5-second penalty. I might even put that in the title because I can't think of what to call this. Here is the driver standings. Max Verstappen pulls 11 points ahead of Michael Schumacher with 3 races to go. It's going to come down to the wire. Even that P3 spot in the Drivers' Championship, boys, there's 4 points between 3 of us. It's going to come down to the wire in the Constructors' Championship. 15 points is the gap between us and Red Bull. 3 races left in the season, boys. This is going to be an exciting one. Make sure you stay tuned. Next up is the Mexican Grand Prix, where we have had a podium before. If you do remember, in season 2, I do believe Carlos Sainz on the pole position, and we were P2 in that race due to grid penalties. But we have an exciting triple header of Mexico, Brazil, and then Jeddah. Is that it? It is. 3 races left in the season. So if you do want to see them, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, boys. I will catch us next time. Take it easy.